on 680 CJOB.
Free for all Friday. You gotta turn your mic on.
Free for all. Friday. You know what the secret of Free for All Friday is? Is it's not free. I had to pay to turn my mic on.
Yeah, 25 cents.
It cost me money to turn this mic on. It's
expensive.
A quarter. How do I have a quarter on me? I must have found it.
I don't know where you got that from.
I must have found it somewhere.
You carry cash?
I like to carry cash, but it's frowned upon.
When's the last time you had a pocket full of change?
Well, here's the story. So when I go to the rink, actually, to do games and stuff, I often, if I'm running behind, which is often, and I can't park here at our station, I'll just pay. And especially on a Saturday night late game, I'll just pay for parking. So I go get cash out, right? And I don't take the $20 out for parking. I take out, what is the minimum now? 50, I think. You can take out whatever you want, but there's like an options have gone from
like an ATM?
Yeah, it's like $50. Well, so I take out 50 and I bring 30 home, and it's just frowned upon. But wait for this, Cam. Mm-hmm. But yet weekly I'm frowned upon for having cash, but yet weekly we need cash.
Well,
there's girl guides knocking at the door, which you can now tap.
I'll say this.
But I'm constantly asked, do you have $5 for school? It's whatever day today, and they need to pay in cash and stuff. And I'm like, yes, I do, but I don't want to be frowned upon.
I want to go on air and say, I walk around with a pocket full of cash. Ha, 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 ha. I don't. But I always carry a small amount, and it has bailed me out so many times. It's actually wild.
Yeah,
But anyway, Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. We got to keep the listeners on. Like, everyone's going to leave if we're talking about cash.
Especially on a free-for-all. But I like a roll. I like the way my father used to have a roll of fives, like $25. And he'd lick his thumb and start rolling it out like Joe Pesci in Casino or something.
Seinfeld, right?
Yes.
Like he was carrying around a roll, and it was like you put the biggest bills on the top.
But I will admit this, sometimes I have cash.
So why is it a 5?
I put it in my pocket and take it out all the time, but yet I do go months without ever needing it. But there is that one morning.
Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on this text line and win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Boston Pizza, where kids eat free all September long. Conditions apply.
Sorry to interrupt those important sponsor reads that we thank them for.
What did you have to interrupt about?
Nobody carries a lot of cash.
Okay.
I guess I'm just worked up that I don't mind. I like having $20 on me.
You know what I liked about Japan? The onsen? The onsen. Well, that was great, but it is essentially a cash society.
It is.
You walk around with, like, on average, I think the average person walks around with what the value of $400 Canadian in their pocket at all times.
I was one of the.
But you don't have to worry about getting mugged there. Anyways,
I don't get upset about a lot of stuff. Like, people get upset when seatbelts came in, and people get upset about. I don't get upset about that. I got upset when the loonie came in because I'm like, this. Nobody.
You missed the $1, $2
Show me a
bill.
mafia movie where they're flipping nickels at each other. Come on, cash.
Free for all Friday. Hey, we take calls. Justin's on the line. Hey, Justin.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to talk about Zach Collaros for a bit. They said it was okay because it's free for all Friday.
Yeah, you're allowed. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
The enthusiasm to talk about it, Justin. Go ahead.
I mean, training camps next week. This is the last chance before Jets training camp. We'll be there live tomorrow, next week, whatever.
This is a good one, though.
All right, Justin. Okay, go ahead.
So in the practices, I guess, what are those helmets that they wear in practice? It's the Guardian caps?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could the Bombers, ultimately it comes down to the player's decision, but if Zach does come back, can the Bombers, say, hey, you know what, you can go in, but you're going to have to wear a Guardian cap from now on? Do any players in the league actually wear the cap in the game? Do you guys know
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I think there's one in Montreal.
Does he wear it all the time?
But I did a story on this, Justin, about last year when they were at training camp, and apparently they were wearing them and trying them out in practice last year and this year. And if a player chooses to, they can wear them in a game. But I think going into next season, they all have to. I think within 2 to 3 years, and again,
every football player is going to be wearing these Guardian caps.
So, yeah, I think I forget what the CFL representative told me, but the goal was that within 3 to 5 years or something, that this would be the norm.
I guess. Well, is that? I don't know. Is that a good or bad? If it keeps people safe, that's fine. I don't think it affects, what's really going on. But
yeah. Well, and last night in the NFL game on Thursday night, there was a couple players wearing them. A couple receivers were wearing them.
Okay. Well,
I do think it's going to become the norm, but to say that a player has to do it, no. And you can't as a team say that. That's a player's decision. Well, they can say this will help you.
It's like the neck guard, right? It's like a neck guard in the NHL. They're not going to force it on anybody, but they probably should wear them.
I don't want to go too far down this road because I'm not a doctor, but Zach Claris didn't get hit in the head. That knocked him out. He got smoked in the body.
Oh, okay. I thought
But what I'm saying is Eric Lindros' last concussion was from a shoulder-to-shoulder body check into the boards. He did not bang his head either. When you have concussion issues, a jarring hit will concuss you again. You do not have to bang your head for that. So, and I only say that because the cap wouldn't, I don't know, necessarily help him if he absolutely got crushed from the side like he did against Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Now, his head might have hit the turf. I don't know, but I take from that the Eric Lindros situation where he just got hammered in the board shoulder to shoulder, did not bang his head, and he got concussed from that because he's susceptible to more concussions due to his history. I don't know if he has a concussion. That hasn't been confirmed with Claros. I'm just saying that as per the cap, it's a player's decision, but obviously the team would go, this might help you. But I found it interesting last night in the Thursday Nighter. There was a receiver for the Green Bay Packers and I think one for the Washington Commanders that were wearing them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, Justin.
No problem. Have a good weekend.
You too, Dwight.
Yeah, take care. Let's get to a text message. This one comes from Sam on Free for All Friday. Prediction: the Winnipeg Jets will win the Stanley Cup this coming year if these three things happen. All right, Jim, are you listening?
Yeah.
1, current roster stays healthy.
Okay, I buy it.
Okay, I'm into that one. 2, Hellebuck plays under 55 games in the regular season.
I don't think that has to.
You don't think that necessarily has to happen?
No.
That means that Eric
Did
Comrie,
he look tired in Game 6 against Dallas?
I don't think. See, this
He
is
did not.
Eric Comrie's going to play 27 games. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Look, what's lost in this discussion about just going into a season, this is how many games you're going to play, is you don't know where you're going to be in the standings. You don't know how tight it's going to be. You don't know if you have a 12-game lead, it's real easy to play your goalie every second night. If you are 6 points out of a playoff spot, there's no way they're resting him.
Yeah.
So to actually sit down and come up with a number is, I think, ridiculous. But
yeah, and I never bought into the Hellebuck is tired thing. I'm willing to try it, particularly this season that he plays less starts maybe than he has over the last little bit, just because of the going to Italy for the Winter Olympics and all that. But I've never bought into he's exhausted by the time the playoffs roll around. I just don't believe
there
that.
was not a game in Dallas, which was the second round, that he looked tired to me, including Game 6, which they went to overtime with.
Sam has another one. It's Taves turns into a solid second line center. Okay, Sam. Well,
I can buy into all those. I'm just looking this up. Sergei Bobrovsky in the past 2 Stanley Cups played 58 and 54 regular season games. Andrei Vasilevsky, when they won their 2, he played 52 and 42 games. I think he was injured in the regular season in both those. But last year he played 63 games. So I mean, I'll buy into rest and not as many games if you're talking 20 or 10.
Yeah.
When you're talking 4 to 5 games, there's no way an elite athlete at this level needs an extra 3 games off, and that makes a huge difference.
Over the course of an entire year?
That's what I mean.
Does that really have an effect?
I don't. If you're talking 10 to 12, I'll go, yeah, he'll be more rested. That's a month.
Yeah.
That's a month worth of games. How could he not be more rested? But if you're talking 3 to 5 games over the course of a season, I do not think that'll make a world of difference like some do.
Hey, James, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys, I'm so glad you had this show through the summer. I love listening to it.
Thank you.
You're the one.
Yeah, I'm from I'm the one. I'm the guy from Brandon. I've called once before. Just seeing a kid named Isaac Poulter. He's a Winnipeg kid. play in Swift Current for his junior time, and I know he was New Jersey draft pick. I think they should really be looking at getting Isaac in some games. Like, nothing against Eric Comrie, but Isaac is going to be a starting goalie, I think, in the league.
So the only thing I'll say about that is, I mean, you're talking preseason, right?
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, I think they need to give a solid look at him when he's with the Moose. I think he's really going to impress.
They are loaded in goaltenders.
See, that's the thing.
Right? And I like Poulter. You're right. He's a good player.
Yeah, but Dom DiVincentis was pretty good in opportunities. It's tough. And, you know, it was interesting. We talked to Mark Morrison about this, and there's such a different pathway to development for a goaltender, because you have to be in the net to defend. I mean, to develop yourself. And there's one net that you can play in for the Moose at any given time, and there's one net in the Jets. So you have to go down to the ECHL, right? You have to play. Yeah. You have to, you know, with the Norfolk Admirals, that's what they were doing, like going back and forth between Thomas Milic and stuff to get time in the net. So, yeah, I'd love to see more from Poulter, but it's, you know, it's just the trajectory of net, right? And, I mean, he's got to wait for his opportunity, and there's only one net to give it to hand out. So
yeah, and one more thing I'll add, I was a billet for years in Brandon here. Another situation is Vancouver. They are chock full of goalies, and one of the kids we billeted for a couple of years, Yuri Patera, is in that line as well. So yeah, goalies are there's a lot of goalies that are chomping at the bit to be successful.
Yeah, hey, James, first of all, thank you for billeting players. That's an awesome thing to do, especially at that level. So did you specifically request goalies?
No, we originally, back in 2016, we had actually offered to take any player from the Czech Republic, and because my wife speaks Czech, Slovak.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up being the import people for a little while, and we had a Belarusian player for 2 years straight, and my wife actually learned Russian while he was with us. So. Yeah, Russian is a very difficult language. I didn't even try. When the kid first got here from Belarus, it was basically like talking to a puppy dog. But after 2 years, his English is very good, very fluent. He's back home now playing there. But, billeting has been the privilege of our life. And we're not billeting this year, unfortunately, but we probably will again. It's just like having, you know, a teenager come into your home, become part of the family. And It is a lot of work, but it's important for these kids' careers to have good billets, and
good on you. Good on you for doing it. I believe Milt Stiegel billeted until he was in his 30s, and I'm not kidding about that. I know a lady who they said he stays with them during the season, and I'm like, do you make his meals and stuff? Is he like?
Yeah.
No, but so he did that. I think it was last year or two. Yeah, but no, it's a great bond. It's a great relationship, and it's not easy. So good on you and your wife for doing that.
Well, yeah, and we keep in touch with our players, and we had a player traded a couple of years ago to Victoria. Now he's going to University of Michigan.
What's that like as a billet family, and then the guy gets traded that you maybe have had for a number of years?
It's very hard. We never had anyone traded that we'd had for a long time, but we had a player that we really, really liked traded to Victoria, and he told me, and he was kind of disappointed, you know, and he's only a 17-year-old player and kind of feeling down about being traded. And I said the night before he left, I said, it's not because the Wheat Kings don't want you. It's because Victoria wants you to make their team better.
Yeah.
And he went there and was an absolute standout, and now has a full ride NCAA scholarship. So
awesome. And we got to let you go, so I don't want to keep you too long. But it's also tough on the other, like the actual. I don't know if you had kids, James, but your own kids, it's tough because these kids come in and for 2 years and they're like siblings, and then they just leave. Right? It's tough.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't have kids, but it's absolutely like that. And we know other billets that do have kids. The kids love having them there, but when they leave, you know, it leaves a bit of a void for them. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, James. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much for calling in.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you take care. 204-780-6868, 204-780-68. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline. Open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza. Kids eat free all September long at Boston Pizza. Dine and only C store for details. We will be right back. More Free For All Friday after this. It's Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program. We're just coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Boston Pizza, where kids eat free. All September long conditions apply. We're going to get to that Hockey Canada 5 discussion in just a moment, but we have Mike on the line right now. Hey, Mike, what's up?
Hi, Mike.
Mike, you there?
Oh, gentlemen, sorry about that.
No problem.
You said it'd be a bit of a wait. Can we agree that the three things that define playoff success are a combination of goaltending, probably toughness, and scoring?
I'd throw special teams in there too.
I'm going to say that's a subset of scoring because your scoring is very much dependent upon how your special teams perform, and that's probably a key element of goaltending and defense too. But
I'm going to say consistency in your play and your system. If you're not consistent, if you look at the Florida Panthers, you know what you're going to get from them night in, night out on the road or at home. And if you look at that first round against St. Louis, you had no clue what you were going to get every night. And then once you got through that, you were pretty consistent against Dallas.
Yeah, and I do agree. Power play is a subset of scoring, but the penalty kill also is vital. And it was something that let the Jets down, particularly against Dallas and St. Louis.
And Jim, you're right. Maybe the greatest weakness of the Jets in the playoffs was consistency in goal. But just going back to my threesome, if you don't mind. So I think the Jets have an answer in goal, or let's put it differently, they're not going to do anything. There's nothing that I think should be done, and I think any fan, even with Hellebuck's struggles, would agree that we're going to give him a check mark in that regard.
Yeah.
Toughness, as St. Louis shown, even with the addition of a Shen, I appreciate he was injured, and Stanley, I still think that, especially on the D-line, they're lacking. And then scoring, they were one of the lowest scoring teams per game for the depth they went into the playoffs. And really, once you got past the first line and, a couple of anomalies like Lowry and Niedermeyer, there wasn't much. And likewise, I don't think one D-man got more than a goal. I think Pionk got a goal. I'm hard-pressed to think of anything coming from the D offensively. So frankly, I'm really looking for what the Jets are going to do about scoring in the playoffs and toughness, because regular season, I think we can agree, it's not irrelevant, but getting there is what counts.
Yeah. Mike, sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'm done. Thank you, Joe.
That was the thing. The reason why they did not get past Dallas is they did not get a Rick Bowness style timely goal. There were several opportunities that they missed. That was the reason. 100%. It was not goaltending that the reason why they didn't beat Dallas. It wasn't. What was the other one? Toughness. It was not toughness why they didn't beat Dallas. It was scoring. It was scoring was why they did not beat the Dallas Stars.
And the reason I think the Jets are okay is because they had their opportunities against Dallas. There was that game where Kyle Connor had a breakaway. There was that game where Kyle Connor was standing at the side of the net and got fed a pass and he couldn't bury it. There was that Alex Iafallo chance that they couldn't. I mean, I've done this all summer. In that Dallas series, I named 5 Mason Appleton into the yawning cage. I've on just off the top of my head can name you 5 or 6 times that if they bury 3 or 4 of those, they probably at least win another game in that series.
And Mike, it's a very well thought out point too to discuss the defense, because Neil Pionk got 1 goal and Dylan DeMello got 1 goal. No goals from Josh Morrissey, had 6 assists. I mean, he was dealing with a lot of stuff, but still 0 goals. Dylan Sandberg didn't find the back of the net. Hayden Fleury didn't score. And so Luke Shen didn't score. So, I mean, that's a valid point as well.
To the point of defense scoring, too, that Mike
And that was a strength of the Jets.
Was that when they in the regular
off.
Season, it was a strength. The Neil Pionk breakout, but solid season. That like they got secondary scoring and they got defense scoring. And that's the Rick Bowness, right? Rick Bowness wanted that defense to be mobile and start producing more points.
And gentlemen, can we agree that, well, I love it, Josh Morrissey, we're probably seeing the best version of Morrissey we're going to see. I'm not really sure that there's another plateau that he can get to. And my simple point is, with the exception of perhaps Dylan Sandberg, I don't really see a lot of upside in the remaining D. That's not a criticism, But if we're looking for elevation in the playoffs or above last year's playoff performance, I don't see a lot of room in the existing decor, with the exception of Sandberg.
Well, yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, though. Yeah. Do we honestly believe Sam Bennett's going to win another Conn Smythe? And I don't like saying that, because full credit to him, he was fantastic and produced all the time. But Sam Bennett's not going to win another Conn Smythe. Players go on runs. Players, but again, get done. Now, he's a great playoff player. I don't know how many points he had, but I could see them winning another Stanley Cup and Sam Bennett not having 10 points again. Yeah,
and if just go back to your point about Josh Morrissey, if this is Josh Morrissey's plateau, and I listen, I don't think he's Cale Makar. But like if he's top 5 in Norris voting again, if that's his plateau and that's his peak, I'll take that. I honestly will.
Yeah, if he's plateaued, fine, as long as he's at the plateau for another 3 to 5 years.
If you plateau as a top 5 defenseman,
that's good enough.
There's no issues there.
But they didn't win because of Bennett. They won because of depth in the forward lineup. They won as much or more because of Marchand and the line he centered, which was conceivably a third line. And on the D, I mean, look, if you've got Nate Schmidt outperforming offensively most of the Jets D, and Mikkola and Seth Jones and Ekblad and so on, it's not a Sam Bennett, Jim. It's to your point. You say consistency, I'll say depth. Where I think the Jets truly lack depth is in the scoring. And unfortunately, I'm not that optimistic. I'm going to try to see Taves and a Gustav Nyquist bolster that with the departure of Ehlers. So I'm just a little concerned about where the depth scoring is going to come in the playoffs. Hey, Lowry has been a stud in the last 2 playoff series offensively, and that's an absolute plus and probably a surprise. You're not counting on that. But really, other than that, I don't want a Sam Bennett, but I want a couple of Sam Bennett lights.
Oilers don't have depth, and they went to 2 straight Stanley Cups.
Oh boy, you fine. Then we can talk about the two of the greatest players in the world being on them and performing, and the Jets have nothing like that.
Fine, but they don't have a Gabe Vilardi. They don't have a evolving Cole Perfetti. They don't have a Nito Niederreiter that can provide scoring. They don't have an Alex Iafallo who can score. They have 2 of the best players on the absolute planet, and they don't have much after that. Evander Kane didn't do much in the playoffs. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins had his games, don't get me wrong, but when they needed scoring the most against Florida, those guys didn't come up. I think the Jets have more depth than the Oilers.
Last year in the playoffs, Kyle Connor, 17 points over 13 games. He had 12 assists and 5 goals. Mark Scheifele, 11 points in 11 games and 5 goals. Mason Appleton, he had 7 assists. Neil Pionk had 7 points. Nikolai Ehlers had 7 points over 8 games. But and Mike, it's a point well taken. I mean, it's either the Jets are going to have to dial their defense back that much, and maybe that's the path forward here, Jim. You floated that idea back about Jonathan Taves, correct? About him sort of reinventing himself. I mean, to really dial into the defensive, the structure of the game, right? That he's always excelled at, but he might not have that offensive touch that he had before. But if he can be a total shutdown centerman, absolutely, like Adam Lowry, maybe the path forward here isn't scoring, it's preventing the other team from scoring.
And if you don't have depth scoring, you better have a world-class goaltender.
Yeah.
And that's what they do have.
Mike, we got to move on, but I'll give you the last point here.
Guys. Appreciate your time.
All right. Okay,
thanks,
cool.
Mike. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, great call, Mike. Appreciate it. Hey, Destry, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Thanks.
The reason that Winnipeg didn't beat Dallas is because St. Louis got away with so many charging penalties. They left their feet almost every hit. And by the time the Jets got to Dallas, they were all playing.
Well, Adam Lowry yesterday, when he was speaking, and by the way, he's hoping to come back early November, late October. So that's good news. At least that's the trajectory right now. Anything could happen. But he said that series against St. Louis took a lot out of him. That was the most. That was rated the best. Destry, I don't know if you know this, and I apologize if you do. But that was rated by The Athletic and many other publications as the best series in the entire Stanley Cup playoffs.
Another thing I wanted to say was where Nikolai Ehlers was on the arena, they now put Kyle Connor, which is a jinx because before Ehlers was Bufflin. Before Bufflin, do you mean
on Canada Life Center on the banners out front on Portage? Is that what you're talking about?
Everybody's at that's been at that northwest corner has left or been traded. Now they got Kyle Connor there. I was like, oh no.
Okay, well, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I wouldn't worry too much about the corner there at Canada Life Center determining who stays and who goes.
All right, have a good
All right,
weekend,
take care,
guys.
Dexter.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. 204-780-6868. Hey, we still got this VIP car wash to give away from our good friends at Wash Method. We'll, of course, hopefully give that away by the end of the show. Let's go back to this. Kevin put this out there earlier, and we've had several other text messages about this, and we want to get into it. Kevin says, do you guys think any NHL teams will sign these guys in reference to the Hockey Canada 5? How many teams receive any of these players into their locker room? Thanks. That one from Kevin. So the ruling is that I think October 15th, they're allowed to sign contracts in the National Hockey League. By December 1st, their suspension ends and they are then allowed to play.
Yes.
What do you think, Jim?
I don't think with the Jets, no.
Not here. No, I don't think the Jets. No, So is a team really clamoring for a Dylan Dubé, a Cal Foote, a Michael McLeod, an Alex Formenton? I'm not sure. But here's the thing too. A Carter Hart, if you're struggling in net, I could see a team going after a Carter Hart this season at some point. The other guys, I'm not sure they're worth the scrutiny that would come down. I think they're good hockey players, but I don't think that there are players that can't be replaced by somebody within your farm system already.
I think Carter Hart could get a deal. Cal Foote's dad's a head coach in Vancouver.
Yeah. You really think that?
I don't know, Cam. I don't. Would you help your son?
After he was acquitted?
And it's the storyline of the other storyline is who better to guide your son through something that he needs to move forward from and become a better person from than your father. But I don't know if that's a good relationship professionally or not. Yeah. Adam Lowry played for his dad here. There's just, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on who's going to do what.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. It would not surprise me if they all don't get a deal. And it would not surprise me if none of them do.
Yeah.
But I do not feel the Jets would take a chance on any one of these guys.
Oh, I think that's fair. I agree with you. Want to go back to the phones? Let's get Corey on the line. Hey, Corey.
Hey, I've been a fan of the Jets yesterday, today, and will be tomorrow. And it was great to see, even though I'm not too sure over the years, Cole Perfetti is doing fantastic. He started at the bottom, the rookie moving forward, maturing, great. Who's that next guy? Because as we evolve, we now are at that time of the career of the Jets. We got to start another one. Who do we start?
Well, that's up to them. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, Corey, but that's up to the guys that several of them are taking part in the prospect showdown in Montreal this weekend.
I don't worry about this.
And the other guys are going to have to prove themselves on the Moose. And so who's it going to be? Well, it's going to be one of them, and one of them I think is going to will have a future in the National Hockey League. It's up to them. They have to go out there and prove it.
I don't worry about this, Corey, is because this is what you want. You want these guys to come on and take over, and once they take over, you want them to last as long as they can. And while they are lasting and having you contend for a cup, you are trading away the picks that would bring in the next round.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't worry about it. I think it'll eventually come through. I think it's an organization that has to worry about it more so than any other organization because the draft is the one way they know they're going to have a player for 7 years, or at least his rights. But I do think there's players coming.
Oh, I do too. And I'm not worried, actually. I'm playing more GM here, just thinking as things roll and as teams evolve, who's that next guy? For me, I'd like to see Mr. Ford coming up. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he has a legitimate shot, and I think he will play some more games for them this year.
Hey, Corey, do you want a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 690 St. Anne's Road?
Oh, I'd love that.
All right, Corey. I'm pop you on hold.
You got a significant other, Corey?
Ticket to romance. Let's take a break.
to romance,
Let's come back
friend.
on the other side. Mr.
Happy
Chance, get your
weekend.
thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza. Kids eat free all September long at Boston Pizza. Dine and only C-store for details. The number one caller. Hey, I have them lined up here. They've already received that $50 gift card to Boston Pizza. I'll tell you who they are when we come back.
Hi, Cam and Jim. This is Francis here. I just want to say that I'm getting pretty excited for the upcoming season. And you know, I'm especially excited for Jonathan Tage coming to Winnipeg. I think it's nice that he comes and plays here. But it leaves me with one little question mark, though, is that I don't know if he's going to be good enough as our second-line center. He's going to be, I think, a good shutdown player, but I don't know if he's going to quite be able to put up the points that we would like to see from a second-line center. But we'll, I guess, have to just wait and see. But I'm pretty excited to see him come to Winnipeg. I think it's pretty special that he comes here. Anyways, that's what I have to say. Bye. Have a good day.
All right, thanks, Francis. Great take. It got you a $50 gift card.
Hey, enjoy, Francis.
To,
Thank you.
Boston Pizza. So, yeah, I mean, it's a concern that many have, and we'll know We'll know by January. Is that good enough for you? Let's get Judy on the line here. Final call of the show. Hey, Judy, what's up?
So I'm following up on the so-called Hockey Canada 5 and the comments that I think somebody said the players shouldn't be considered other than maybe Hart, who was the fellow who left the party. It's completely ignoring the fact that these fellows were acquitted. The accuser was an attention-seeking young woman who got these boys involved in a very stupid situation. They made very large mistakes, but if they're good players, if they're qualified, they should be given a chance.
Well, they will be given a chance, and nobody here is saying they shouldn't. I said they
they
were
have
not
been
found guilty.
Yeah.
But there is a part of this, Judy, that some teams would go, I don't want to be associated with that kind of behavior.
Yeah, because they did act reprehensibly.
And I'm not judging. I want to emphasize that. I'm pretty open-minded to whatever people want to do, and everybody's consents.
Yeah,
I'm fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
But
I will say this: some teams will not want to be associated with this story.
And Judy, all parties, in my opinion, acted reprehensibly. And you know, they have been acquitted. Absolutely. Do they deserve a chance to come back to the National Hockey League if a team wants to sign them? Yes, I think so. I don't think that that's wrong.
You know, I don't even think it was reprehensible. I think it was very stupid.
Judy.
Okay, no, Judy can. Yeah.
Did you follow the facts?
I did. Yeah, no, I followed the story. I read the updates every single day.
They were stupid things that kids do. I think that you're just being overly harsh. It was all consensual. This woman was there and engaged in all of the activities with her consent.
Hey, Judy, well, we'll see if somebody signs him then.
Yeah, I think if they're good players, forgive.
Okay, Judy, we got to go here.
Thanks, Judy. Have a good weekend.
I don't think I'm being overly harsh by describing it as reprehensible. Just read the details of what was going on. That's my opinion.
Everybody has their own opinion on what took place and how they view it, and everybody's allowed to that. It'll be interesting to see if a team takes a chance.
Do you agree with that, Jim? Do you think it was reprehensible?
It's definitely not my thing. It's definitely not my thing. But again, whatever people do is
we gotta go.
I don't try to judge.
We gotta go.
So.
See you.